Well, we're finally here. The last episode in this year's celebration of Depravity Villains Month. And I think it's only fair that we end things with something unique. Something special. Something bizarre. Or, in other words, Sono chino sada me JoJo! Woo! That's right, baby! We're talking DIO! Let's go! Oh, but first, hey, sis, what you doing hiding off screen? Why don't you come on over here and we can get started?
Do the episode yourself.
What? Nah, no way. It's just no fun out here without my sister to back me up.
I am not coming out there.
No? And why's that?
What do you think?
Well, it couldn't have anything to do with that bet you lost a while back, could it? Nah, that can't be it. I mean, that'd make you a really sore loser, wouldn't it? That sure doesn't sound like you, though. You were even so ready for whatever I threw your way.
That was then, and this is now.
I think you should just come on and get it over with. It's only fair.
No!
All right, listen here, you little troll doll. When I lost, I had to wear that really nightmare of yours. This time, I won fair and square, and you agreed to this. So get your ass out here before I drag your ass out here.
You suck.
oh my God.
Shut up! I didn't laugh at you. You actually looked cute in yours. I just look like...
A JoJo character?
Ugh.
Relax, I'm laughing because it suits you. Well, that and karma. But you even had the hair buns and everything. And Jolene's a total badass. I can't wait for the Stone Ocean anime to come out, man. You should be honored.
Whatever. Can I change back now?
Like hell. I had to wear that humiliating getup for a whole damn weekend. Suck it up, Buttercup. Now then, back to the subject at hand. For our last feature of Villains Month, we'd like to introduce you to DIO, the best at being the worst. There is a ton we can say about DIO, really. Well, I can anyway.
I guess DIO is a perfectly effective villain, or whatever.
Effective? Dude, DIO is a friggin' legend! Even if we just ignore all the JoJo memes.
She says as if that's even possible.
Even if we ignore all the JoJo memes, DIO is a genuinely great villain. One of the best. It's only appropriate, right? We opened Villains Month talking about one golden boy, now we get to close with one.
And just what makes him so great. He seems pretty typical to me.
Easy. DIO is, straight up, a shonen protagonist in the role of the villain.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to run that by me again. What?
Yeah, I should probably qualify that statement a little more. I don't mean it in the literal sense, but it helps to understand that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is partially founded on the idea of playing with the tropes that have essentially become stock for the shonen genre as a whole, especially once they got to Stardust Crusaders.
I thought part 1 was supposed to be a weird shonen parody of soap operas.
I mean, it basically is. At least, it seems that way. But that's a discussion for another time. Just look at it, and DIO specifically, more closely. DIO's entire philosophy is essentially a dark perversion of the exact same kind of ambition that drives most shonen protagonists. Because of his background, he sees himself as an underdog and is obsessed with rising above others. Of course, that background also made him sadistic, conniving, and petty as all hell.
Yeah, I guess that is a good point. By contrast, JoJo is a noble who didn't have to work for his status, but is humble and strives to be an honorable gentleman.
Right. DIO studied and struggled to escape his fate. Fate, by the way, being an actual, tangible concept in the JoJo universe. His life in the slums trained his cunning, his studies trained his charisma, and his ambition fueled his unmatched tenacity. True to the typical shonen protagonist model, DIO absolutely refuses to stay down.
But unlike the usual shonen protagonist, it's not pure willpower that keeps him going. Sure, that's part of it, but at the end of the day, DIO's just crafty. He doesn't play fair at all. And the more desperate he is to win, the more conniving he becomes.
Exactly. In a way, his stand is the ultimate representation of this. By allowing him to stop time, and later do other things, Dio is pretty much spitting in the face of Lady Fate herself. It's why he got so pissed at the mere possibility of Joltado invading his world of stop time. Dio is fated to battle the Joestars, fated to lose to the Joestars.
So I guess it kind of makes sense then why he kind of loses his mind in the final fight.
Yep. In a word, he's desperate. And it makes his old, unhinged nature rear its head. A side of him we only see when he's at his lowest points in part 1.
Something I would say is that it's kind of neat seeing how different Dio is when he comes back.
True. Something that we didn't really touch on in the Frieza episode is the other benefit of villains having some longevity. All the best villains may as well be secondary main characters.
Right, because when they came back after a loss, they've changed. They've evolved. When Frieza came back the first time, he hadn't changed at all. And that point was driven home by Trunks. Well... yeah... But when Frieza came back again in Super, he learned. He changed his thinking, and that led to his getting stronger with Golden Form. Then, when he came back again, he'd pretty much perfected it.
Dio's no different, really. When he came back, he was almost a different character. He still had pretty much the same motivations, the same default traits, everything you'd expect. But after 100 years, he'd mellowed out a bit, matured. Despite his ambition, he was more cautious, more patient, even kinda paranoid after having all that time to think about his ultimate loss to Jonathan. And it made him ruthlessly efficient. This was peak Dio.
Unfortunately, he made one crucial mistake.
He really pissed off Joltaro. Dio's still Dio. He is one cocky bastard. And when he's in a position of power, he's gonna milk it. As Antwan explains in their video, why Dio actually lost to Joltaro, it's one of his biggest weaknesses, and it's the reason he loses both times. Seriously, go check out that video when you're done here. It explores Dio's character a lot more thoroughly than we're doing here. Anyway, hell, Dio's finally able to defeat Jonathan, kinda, by reining this side of himself in. So when he pretty much went banana balls after taking Joseph's blood and believing he was finally unbeatable, well, you know how the story ends.
Still, it never really occurred to me to even think of Dio that way.
I just love the way he acts as a reflection of one of the more typical shonen protagonist character arcs, going through a lot of the same stuff, but developing in the opposite direction and being played in an antagonistic role. It's some seriously cool storytelling, and that's on top of just, look, do I even need to say that Dio's entertaining? I can, but it'd just feel... yeah, that. And there you go, Dio, the villain who mirrors the typical shonen protagonist in his ambition to be the best like no one ever was. The best at being the worst.
Great, we're done now?
Yep, glad to have you along for the ride there.
Sure, anytime.
You aren't gonna complain or nag me to let you change now?
Why on earth would I do that? We have trick-or-treating to do.
Wait, what?
A costume's a costume, right? I'm already in this, so I may as well. But Riley, what about your costume? Now, Riley, you didn't forget, did you? Shame on you. You promised we'd go together this year.
It's
okay though. I have the perfect solution. A backup plan I'm sure you'll just love.
Wait, no. I'm not putting that thing on again. Get back! Get away from me! Rila!
Happy Halloween!